Are you thinking about moving to Niceville? Well, we're going to discover some of these top neighborhoods throughout the video here on the map or out here in the area. If you are planning on moving here to Niceville but having some trouble finding the best neighborhoods to live in this video, I'm going to show you all the best ones. We are here in one of the nature trails down in Turkey Creek. Just kind of show you around. We're going to be walking around some of these and going to showcase at least one of the homes out here so you guys can take a look at that as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. All right, let's go do it. All right, so as I said earlier, we are going to jump into checking out Niceville here. So if you guys know, most of us know this area as Destin, and down in here we have it just north. And here we are on Google Maps for Niceville. From Niceville, a lot of people consider in here Valparaiso as well, which is just south of that. So a lot of the times when we think about the specific area, that it could combine both of those. So we're going to go through the top neighborhoods to check out here. The first one that I want to showcase to you, well, let's just go over all of them real quick. So the first one will be over here in Blue Water Bay. Okay, that's one of the more popular places. We're gonna move up here to Swift Creek, then head over here to the city center area and head over to Deer Moss Creek, and then down to and over to Rocky Bayou Estates. So first thing that I want to do is just kind of talk about the Niceville area. So Niceville is split up right here off of Route 20. So this is Route 20 that goes all the way through Niceville. Most of the time when people get access into there, they'll either be coming up through Fort Walton Beach or off of Destin, or the Destin-Fort Walton Beach Airport, right? And we'll be dumping into John Sims or Route 20. Other than that, we see that most of the traffic that will be coming down through 85 would specifically go in here only to go to Niceville or to transit into the base for work. Other than that, most of the time that people are coming down, if they're going to Destin, are going to bypass here on the traffic, right? Or they'll bypass to go into Eglin Air Force Base or to get into Fort Walton Beach or down here to Destin the other way that doesn't involve a toll, right? So it's really nice to be centrally located too. And quite honestly, if traffic's bad enough, if you got a boat, you can get down to the places you want to go pretty quickly as well, which is really, really nice for this area. Okay, so going into here, let's first jump down into Blue Water Bay. All right, first on our list is Blue Water Bay. I wanted to jump down here to the marina that they have here. They also have a little beach area too to come out to, even though it's not as nice as the white sand beaches. But this is the marina that everybody will have access to. If you've never been here to Blue Water, it's really, really popular. You got golf, you've got tennis, the marina, the restaurant that's over here. And there's also businesses inside this area. There's all these little neighborhoods that really make it like home for any specific, I don't know, feel that you get. The good news is that this area is walkable. They have actual sidewalks because not every place really does. They've got nice areas to bike as well, rollerblade I've seen, people on scooters. It's really nice. You do have access to the golf course. It's right here. Of course, you have water access out here as well. How beautiful that is. You have all of this. Now to get in here, it will depend upon what you're looking for, because there is a range of different things that you can get here. You can get the townhomes, which of course are going to be cheaper, all the way up to those beautiful waterfront homes that are out here. And they do have condos that are waterfront too. So if you are looking to get in here, it could be an average somewhere around 400 to maybe 650,000 to do this. Now, if you are looking for those single family homes, know that is going to be a bit further up there. Of course, if you have questions on specific prices or what it's like to live here, of course, reach out to myself, reach out to my team here. We got you. Let's keep going. All right, and now that we've seen, I just want to show you, I was over here at the boat club down here to show you some of that area. But all of this area in here is considered blue water.
Okay, so there are different neighborhoods, some that are gated within Blue Water Bay, but there are tons of different things around here that really make this place very attractive. The first thing that I really like to point out is the quick access into Destin off the toll bridge on 293. Another is that there's sidewalks. There's the golf course, there's a marina. And a lot of this is with some pretty affluent families that will take care of their lawn and everything else, right? Every single neighborhood I'm going to tell you about is very similar to that, or I wouldn't have shown you guys. But those are the different things within here to check out. There are other places around here too, in order to be able to get out to shops and for different restaurants and things right across the way here. You're going to see that there are some of the mini malls, I guess, or just any of these other shops, other businesses, restaurants, things right here outside of Blue Water Bay. Now, most of which you're going to see up here in the main part of Niceville, but I do want to let you know that the Blue Water area outside the state park is going to be right here. And that's right, it is right next to the state park here, the Rocky Bayou State Park Aqua Preserve, which means that you'll be able to get into here pretty quickly. So that is Blue Water Bay. And then this area right here is going to be Swift Creek.
All right, guys, welcome down here to Turkey Creek. And here is one of the HOA buildings, as well as the public area building that's down here as well, where it's got a nice pool back here. And just talking a little bit about the neighborhood, it's definitely well kept, as you can hear the leaf blowers going in here behind me. But I love this area here. It is family friendly. There's nature trails all throughout here. I've actually been at an event in here a couple of times. Actually, really nice place here. But you can see that these are all really well taken care of homes around here. And of course, they're close to high-rated schools, to include the high school that is out here too. You've got all sorts of different homes, your custom homes. Everything around here is really good. Like, you can see that everything in here is really taken care of. Obviously, there's gonna be a price tag that goes with that to move into this area. So with that being said, most of the time to get into one of these type of homes into this neighborhood could cost you around $550,000, upwards of $800,000 or more. But I'm telling you, getting in, if you're looking for this type of environment, you really want to have sidewalks everywhere that you're going. You really want that close-knit feel and a little bit feel of affluence. This is a great place to go without having to pay the outrageous fees to get into a gated community. This nice little hidden area here in Niceville.
Okay, so we were able to show you a bit about where this area is located. And to reiterate on top of that, most of everything that you're going to access in here is going to be a little bit more affluent feel. Everybody's going to be taking care of their place. It is a little bit more expensive to get into this neighborhood, but I mean, that is the price that you pay necessarily to be able to get into it, and no pun intended with that. The good news about this is that you do have access from 295 to be able to get onto 293 to get up to, Crestview, or to head down into Destin, and you don't have to go through this traffic. 293 does have a toll, which you will pass going this way down the 293. So just know that that is something that you may want to consider with that. Outside of this, it's actually pretty nice because right down the way here, you're going to have the high school, you're going to have Old Destin, or what we call the city center of Destin, down in this area. This is also going to have access to all the restaurants, the shops, the marina, and everything else, while having your own little piece of paradise up here. Okay, next what we want to do is jump down here to the city center.
All right, next we're going to be talking about the city center. As you guys probably saw here on the map, we are right here above where the high school is over here, the Niceville High School. And this encompasses all the areas tucked around over this way that you're going to see over on the streets that I'll be showing you. And then, of course, all the areas back this way, just north of where the school's at. Now this is really nice because this is more of a quiet, established neighborhood. It's one of the older neighborhoods. Obviously, it'd be in the city center. You're gonna see a good mix of different types of homes. But the best part about it is that you have access to everything. So I'm on a pedestrian bridge right now that allows you to get over there without having to cross this traffic, which I'm sure you can hear. But you've got a mix of different lots, different neighborhoods, and everything else that is out there. Obviously, it's close to the school. Highest and best rated school here in Northwest Florida. Shops, the college, everything's gonna be around here. The price range to get in here can vary. It could be as little as $375,000 to $425,000, or it could be up there, even closer, pushing $1 million, or it could be just slightly less, depending upon what you're looking for in order to get here. But this is a quiet area, despite the noise you hear in the background. But also could be one of the busier areas too, depending upon what sort of lifestyle that you guys are after. So come check this out. And if you haven't been down to the city center area, it's that area that encompasses all around the school, the high school rather, and up in the old area here. Luckily for us, we're right on the edge here, and we are gonna go check out a home inside of it. This one here is going to be a newer construction that we're gonna be going to check out here. I have a cheat sheet since there's so much information coming on up here, but this one was built in 2022. Just wanna show you what you can get when coming into this neighborhood. So let's go check it out. All right. So as we get into the home here, we can see first that it has that luxury vinyl floor all throughout this entire home. So no carpet, which is good when you live here on the Emerald Coast because that sand gets everywhere. All right, so some things to see here is we've got some really tall ceilings here with those nice beams, those extra large beams going across here on the top. Tons of features here. As you can see, we've got the gas fireplace. This is great for your main living area. There's actually a second one, which I'll go up and show you. We got our kitchen here, which we will go back to as well. And interestingly enough, you don't find too many of them. We'll go down the hallway. There's the other couple bedrooms, but we actually have a step down to go into the garage. It kind of reminds me of living up north because, you know, you do have some basements, but we don't have any of those here. And then of course, we're gonna go check upstairs. Now, before I go up, there are some things about the city center too that you wanna go and check out. Now, when you are going through here too, this area, it's very established for the neighborhood. It's gonna have all the access to the things that you wanna go out to, like the marina and things like that. And it's really gonna find some more mature landscaping, things of that nature around here. And you're gonna find older homes, you're gonna find rehab homes, you're gonna find newer ones just like this, all sprinkled throughout the area. So let's get back to the tour. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and head upstairs. And guys, if you do see anything like this, have additional questions as we're heading up the stairs here, do give us a call or text. We're happy to talk about different areas, different types of homes, and what you can get for bang for your buck. All right, as we get up here to the top of the stairs, you'll notice that we've got 3 bedrooms off here to the right. And we also have our bath, which we're gonna check out. But this is the other main living area that I wanted for you guys to see. So this has these vaulted ceilings with a big old ceiling fan up there, the recessed lighting, everything that you would anticipate for a house built in 2022. This is actually really good. There's plenty of space up here for a separate living area. Maybe it's for the kids or just a guest area. Plenty of light coming air through here. Now, I think this is super unique too. You have the exterior balcony for this home, and I'm sure you saw that on the outside, but they actually put down the same tiles, and there's still enough room in here to put a couple of chairs and to hang out. Right, you see they got the hardy board here on the side. You have this great view looking down into Boggy Bayou, or Bayou, depending upon how you want to say it. All right. So, again, just kind of checking this area out. We'll proceed over here. Now, you do have this little door here into Narnia. Not sure what's going on in here. This is obviously some extra storage area and space, or, you know, whatever you want to do with it. It's there's some weird doors sometimes in these homes. All right, so heading down the hallway first, we'll go ahead and check out the main bath in here. So we've got that single vanity right there. We do have, again, nice fixtures all throughout here, which you would expect for the newer homes. These are granite countertops, and they do have the soft close. See that? Let's see it one more time. Soft close doors all throughout, even in the kitchen. We do have a little pocket door here too, right? So that's to save some space and be able to close this off for your commode and your shower. Now, these are all those custom built showers. This builder did a great job of that. I always love when they leave a little cutout to actually put your stuff in here. But really nice. It's got the glass on the outside, no shower curtain. And this is that same tile that they have outside. So I really love how this looks. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the other bedrooms in here too. Okay, so you're gonna find these are the modern updated ceiling fans. You're gonna find those in each room. And they've also put in some shelving in here, which in the kitchen, I'm gonna show you some cool shelving that they did here. But they've gone all the way up, really maximized the space. All right, heading down the hallway, we do have bedroom number 2 of upstairs here. Again, same sort of ceiling fan. I turned it on for you so you can see it spinning. Different closet type here, different door at least, but still pretty good space. And then we're gonna head into our last bedroom. Now, these are all similar in size. There is one, the first one I showed you is a little bit bigger than this. This one honestly doesn't have the great of a light in here, but I'm sure you could change that. And about the same size closet. All right. Now, of course, it's always good to have a linen closet in here. So got one of those babies, and it's some extra space too. So if you want to go ahead and throw anything else in here on the floor, you can. And that concludes the top floor. Let's head on down. And I do love the fact that this stairway does not have any carpet on it, because it can get a little grody. Ooh. All right. So before I head down here, you get to see an elevated look. Since I am a towering 5'8", you can see from this vantage point what everything looks like out here. So obviously this entire room centered off of the TV mantle, which they turned into in the fireplace. Of course, this is where we entered in. So let's go ahead and head down to the garage. See, I told you there was a step down. Kind of feels interesting. I don't feel this a lot in Florida. And we got another Narnia room in here. Yes, here we are. Maybe storage for some paint, holiday decorations, what have you. Then into the big old garage. Good old 2-story garage. And this is really nice. It's about as exciting as I can make a garage look. Woo! I can make echoes. At least we got that going for us. All right. Good news is here is at least this home is up here on a hill. So as far as flooding or anything like that, you don't have to worry about that insurance. Matter of fact, if you got questions on that in the specific areas that do have or will require flood insurance, give me a call or text. I'm happy to talk to you guys more about that. All right, let's move in here to the other bedrooms downstairs, which I have a funny story about, but let's go in here first. Here is the master. We got vaulted ceilings. It's really high, feels super big in here. We've got Big windows. It seems small because there's nothing in here, but plenty of space for like a king size furniture set. You're gonna be good to go in here. Heading on into your master bath. Again, another little pocket door. See, don't gotta worry about that. You'll be able to close this off and not have to worry about a door. And look at the size of this. I love the dual vanities, which is real estate speak for 2 sinks. Nice granite countertops. Still have those soft close cabinet doors in here as well for the vanity, and still looking pretty good as far as all the different fixtures, features, everything in here. But lots of counter space. So if you like to put all sorts of stuff across here, I know my wife likes to do that, you have the room. Okay, going into the first walk-in closet. So you still have those wires to set up here. Obviously, they've maximized the space to use. And still got that really nice tile throughout here. You have your separate area for your commode. Again, you can close this off. This doesn't have a pocket door, it's got a real door. And then your custom shower. They have another area too here that they put inside the wall for either decorations or whatever. And then this is very similar. This is a little bit bigger than the other shower that I showed you from upstairs, but same sort of detail. Looking mighty good. All right. So again, get some of that features in here. All right, let's step out here. We're gonna head on into the next room. I say room because I thought this was a bedroom. And you're like, Tim, this looks a lot like a bedroom. Heck, it's got a bathroom hook to it. Well, here's a bit of an update. So if you want to classify anything as a bedroom, it's got to have 7 feet, which this one does, right? It's got to have a window, which it does, but it's also got to have a closet. There's no closet in here. So when I counted this earlier, I was like, oh, it's a 5-bedroom. Why is it saying it's a 4? This is why. This is about having an honest realtor that put in real information on here, not make it up to be 5. It's actually 4 with an office. And we're standing in the office because it's got its own executive bathroom that it shares with the rest of the house. So let's go check that out. All right, so coming in here, you got your commode single vanity. Again, that's fancy for a single sink. And it's got a tub shower combo. Yeah, they do really good with this tile. Custom tile job. I love what this builder has done. It's got that tub shower combo, the best that you can get. Heck yeah. Looking good. Looking good. All right, so let's head into the kitchen. I know you've been dying to wait for it and see it since we walked in here. So here, without further ado. So we have our bar area here. And then we have some extra counter space as well. Over here on the side, I'm gonna call this their coffee bar. It does have a nice stainless steel. It's all stainless steel appliances throughout. It's got all these doors here. They're all soft close doors. Yes, even these. So kids, adults, kids at heart that are adults, you can't slam these things. So lots and lots of counter space here. You've got the double sinks. I'm not a huge fan of the double sinks. If you watch any of my videos, I like the farmhouse sinks, mainly because I'm the one usually cleaning in the kitchen. So I like to be able to put pots and pans in there with the handle, but again, that's just me. So we got your washer. But I love this too, just because if I'm in here cleaning up or whatever, and I'm entertaining or watching after kids, you know, I can see what's going on here. So again, lots of storage space. If you like gas ranges, you're in luck, because this one specifically does have one, and it does look like it vents outside the house versus a circulation fan. For those of you that like to cook things stovetop, like delicious bacon or anything of that nature, you don't have to worry about smoking out the house or leaving a permanent smell. All right, so let's go into the pantry. Now this is something really unique. All right, I've already joked about my height being 5'8", right? But we know that these are pretty tall ceilings, but check this out. Look at how high these things are going. My paper can't even touch that. It really made it efficient for this pantry. So step ladder may come with the home if you need it and you're about as tall as I am. If you're lucky enough to be 7 feet tall, you don't need it. Joking aside, they've done a really, really good job being able to maximize the space and to be able to put things in here. So huge pantry. One of the things that I look at with rehab homes versus going into the new ones typically always are gonna have a pantry, right? But if you go into those rehab ones, like the older homes that they've done that, sometimes they don't have a pantry. I moved into just a place just outside of Dayton, Ohio, and they did a rehab. It looked beautiful. It looked a lot like this, with all the accents. Didn't even think about it, right? And we didn't have a pantry. So all these cabinets that normally would have, dishes and appliances and everything else had food in them. Never again. But anyway, it's up to you. All right, so let's move around. I want to continue to show you the rest of this kitchen. You do have a small area here if you wanted to put a eat-in, like a little round or square table here. Maybe a little bit in the way, but still do have that. You do have inside laundry. Man, this makes such a difference. If you do have laundry inside the house versus having to go into the garage. Why? Because it gets devastatingly hot inside there. Okay, so this is really cool too. Now, a lot of the times when we're looking into backyards, we're not looking into the nicest places or anything like that. But they realized out here in Niceville that there is a mix of commercial buildings and things around that you don't necessarily want to see. So they put this up, and I couldn't tell you that there was a big warehouse right behind here. This is great, still smells brand new, that fresh lumber. And it's 2025 at this recording, so that's pretty nice to still have that small little easy to maintain backyard. But take a look at this. I love this area, especially if you want to be outside but not be dying of the heat. At least in the morning, you're not gonna have to worry about that. Afternoon, obviously you're gonna be cooking in the sun, but that's okay. It's your own little private oasis back here. Super cool, right? All right, guys, so that's all that we have for this home. We'll go ahead and head out to the next neighborhoods that we can go check out. And we'll see you on over there. If you do have any questions about this home or anything like it, guys, give me a call, shoot me a text. I got you. All right, let's go.
Okay, so we saw some of the area down there when we were, just to give you an idea of where we were standing. This is where the high school was, and then there was a bridge that I was standing on right here where you can see the fields and everything else. So you'll notice here from where I was standing that this is considered the city center area for Niceville. And this is everywhere from up here by the Northwest College, down here, kind of bypasses what we just talked over at Swift Creek, and then works its way down into this area of Niceville as well. Okay, so over here, like I had mentioned before, you do see more established communities. They may be a little bit older. They're certainly more affordable down here, but this entire area is a bit eclectic. Now, we are mentioning some areas that had zoning when they put this together, but when we get into the old city center, there wasn't any zoning, right? So it's very eclectic, where you could have a brand new construction across the street from a trailer. There's not too many that are around anymore, but to give you an idea, like there is a bit of disparity between the two sometimes when you go on some of these side streets down there. Still, I wouldn't say that any of this is unsafe. You can check the safety and crime statistics for Niceville, and it's super, super low, probably some of the lowest in most of the cities surrounding the area, or just generally here on the Emerald Coast. The good news as well, with that being said, is that you are going to get a variety of home prices, but this is a good area if you want to get into starter homes. Plus, you have access to everything as well. When you get back here, there's not a lot of stuff going on outside of what's going down on Highway 20, of course, which you could hear in the background as I was going through here. If you do end up down here too, I do want to let you know some of my favorite places. Pounders is a Hawaiian grill out there. I think their chicken is phenomenal because nobody else orders it, so it's really good. But definitely come over here and check that out. And some of the other areas down the way, Third Planet, If you like breweries, this is a great place to go. Bring the kids, let them run around. It's the truest to a beer garden that you're going to find on the Emerald Coast. And it's nestled right in Niceville. So it's one of those things that every time that I go through and I feature this for you guys, that I'm talking myself into moving out here. And I've definitely brought my kid out there to go run around while we enjoy a couple of beers. So this place has grown and really gone out there, and it's really good beer too. All right, so moving on from the city center, I want to show you Deer Moss Creek. This is one of the newest neighborhoods that we have out here. So let's jump down there.
Well, welcome out here to Deer Moss Creek. One of the new facilities that they just put in here is the pool. They also have the activity center, which is inside there. There's actually an event going on. There's a park out here for the kids. There's so much going on here that they've really done here. And now this entire place has been built out in phases. And I'll show you here on the map where all these different things are going to be going. But inside these, we're going to see a lot of new units all throughout here. There's all these homes have been built within the last 5 years or so, and really, really well kept. In here, you're going to find a master plan developed community. You're going to find brand new construction. You're going to find community events, which I had a little trouble parking because of that. You're going to find trails and everything else that they've been putting together out here. Just absolutely great place to go if you're trying to find the new feel for that and to create that community. Definitely an affluent community getting in here. I will say that there are some places that you can get into that aren't specifically in the zone. If you're looking to get into townhomes or something like that, that will be lower than 600,000, but almost everything else that you're going to see is going to be much above that, mainly because it's newer, if not brand new construction to get into some of these planned homes. If you have any questions about this, want to know about this community, some of the projects, or if this is some place that you're considering, please go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to help you out.
Okay, so we got an idea where that was. So here in Deer Moss Creek, if you wanted to know exactly where we were, we're right down here. So you can kind of relate where those are. I will tell you that this is just started. There are several phases that are going to happen to grow this neighborhood out. So this was the original one that was in here. Here's the addition, and you'll see that down here, they're starting to build it out. There are 2 more phases that will build into this to make this bigger and bigger and bigger. These are all newer construction. This is all newer community. This is more an affluent community in an affluent community, which is, you know, Niceville in general. So it's really nice. I do like this area too, because of its access to 293 as well, just like we had said before. It's kind of out of the way. It's nice to, I also like to fly, so it does have the Ruckle Airport. That's a grass strip, by the way. You're not going to get anything big in there. But there is one of those here. Of course, there's golf that's around here. So it's going to be good. And what they're adding in here as far as trails and things like that throughout there, it's really, really going to be a nice community for you guys to check out. Okay. And after Deer Moss Creek, the last one I wanted to show you was just down here. This is the Rocky Bayou Estates. Now, let's jump down there and take a look.
All right, so we're outside of Rocky Bayou Estates here, one of the last ones we're going to be looking at. We'll go ahead inside and take a look. One of the things that we love about this area is all the different custom homes, golf course views. There's even water access in here. Guys, you're going to love inside here. If you are trying to get in here, it could be as low as 600 to even $1 million or more, depending upon you're looking for that golf view, the water view, getting access in there. There's plenty of stuff in here to go check out.
Okay, as promised, when we went through here, this entire area that wraps around the country club, this is where it is at. There's surprisingly a good amount of water, a good amount of hills back here off of Ruckle Drive, and all the different places down here in the Rocky Bayou Estates. It really does feel like it's got that exclusive feel to it. It does have a whole lot of privacy. It has a lot of upscale homes, even if they're a little bit older, and some have been renovated to look really, really nice. And you will have access out here, some water access throughout the area in this community, which is actually pretty nice. So if you do come down here and you drive down what seems to be a hill and you look over and then you see water come in here, it's kind of cool to be able to see this entire community. It brushes up real nice next to Swift Creek. So it kind of has that still access, like I told you about before, getting up to College Boulevard into 293 off by its own. It's an older established community, but super nice. Some of these ones that I've gone into, these homes, we're just not used to when you go into a home that it goes down, right? Because there's a couple of hills that are in this area here, you may go in and it is a split story, but there's no basement. We don't have basements here in Florida. So it's really interesting to come in here and take a look at that. Okay, and to really just kind of give you some other stuff outside of these top communities that we spoke about. Right here in Valparaiso, when you come into here, this is one of the main gates that you'll be able to go through to access into Eglin. Okay, so if you are a contractor or a military member or a veteran that's trying to get on base, you'll be able to access it through here. There is a gate that does open on this side, but it's only in certain hours and it's only during the week. And then of course the main gate is down here once you drive up through Shalimar. Valparaiso is growing. Okay, there is a gun range. If you guys like, there's an indoor gun range that's right down there too. There's the other one's going to be all the way out in Gulf Breeze or past Crestview to be able to get to it. So that's really nice. It's definitely something that I've gone to as well. And there's a lot of really good restaurants throughout the bay that sit on the bay. So if you go up through East John Sims, this is also Route 20 that I've mentioned, and go down Bayshore, the Wharf 850 is definitely a good place to go check out. One of my favorites that's going to be right down there. Really good views, really good food as well, what you'll see there. I've already talked about Props as being one of my go-to places down here as well. To hang out, and there are many other restaurants and things to do here. I will tell you though, if you are looking for nightlife, you're not really going to find it here. Most of the time you're going to have to drive down to get into Destin or into downtown Fort Walton Beach to get to it, or even here in Miramar or out into the 38 area to really get that. There is a little bit of some, but not much that you're going to find outside of the Third Planet Brewery for that area. You will notice that a lot of this kind of stops around here, and it's because this entire area surrounding it is Eglin Air Force Base, one of the biggest land masses for Air Force bases around. This is where they'll go and do all their exercises and whatnot around there. And also I've previewed some homes previous out here, and this is the approach for this runway right here. So if you do go in here, just hang out for a while and just see if that air traffic bothers you during the day that's coming over, since you're on the approach end of it. They're usually not too bad, but also know that when it comes to Air Force jets, that they're not about sound mitigation at all. They're about power. So some of the older ones definitely going to notice that it's there. However, outside of being in this area on the approach end of that runway, it's rare. It's not really as noticeable. It's just as noticeable being anywhere else, say in Fort Walton Beach, Destin, or any place around. I'll also mention too that the Eglin Golf Course is out in this area as well. It's not on the actual installation, it's out this way. That's a pretty nice course to go out to. It's a little challenging, I say it's challenging because I'm not that good of a golfer. But you're gonna see a bunch of different golf clubs that are out here in the area. One last thing, the honorable mentions as well. Outside of Blue Water Bay, there are some other cool areas down here that you can go into that aren't necessarily going all the way out to Freeport, that you can check out for some of these neighborhoods here. There's some of these down in this area, and of course outside of this Blue Water Bay, even though it's not technically in there, you do have some areas that still have that same sort of feel, but won't be in the HOA area of Blue Water Bay. So just to give you an idea what you can expect for the Blue Water, for all the different neighborhoods in Niceville, just know that when it comes to moving here, and we've got plenty of other videos for you to really get deep dives in here, it's the community that continues to keep people here. When it comes to football, it's the Friday Night Lights sort of theme that you're gonna see down in the Niceville High School Stadium. Everybody comes out for those. There are different places for farmers markets that you're gonna see off of Highway 20, usually around, where is it? It's typically in this parking lot down here, or somewhere close to that. I think I got that right. But it is the community that keeps people to stay there, and definitely the community that attracts a lot of people like myself that do have families and want to go in the best school system. Now, it is the best high school system in all of Northwest Florida. There's nobody else that even comes close to it as far as ratings, but I do encourage you to go out to niche.com and check it out to see if there's something else out there that maybe a little bit more up your style. So last but not least, we'll go ahead and head down to the park, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this video up.
All right, so we've gone through all these different neighborhoods. Which one's going to be the best for you? So for military and family, we're talking really anywhere, quite honestly, but the favorites seem to be Swift Creek, Deer Moss Creek, and of course, Blue Water Bay. Blue Water Bay has been one of those places that I have spent the most amount of time with our military buyers out there, and they stay there. For retiree and snowbird, Ruckle, Rocky Bayou, those areas seem to be really, really nice. And then of course, for that first-time buyer, most everybody loves going over to Blue Water Bay, mainly because of the amenities and everything else that we saw here. So guys, I'm a local with a decade of experience in this market, and I've helped dozens of families relocate here to Niceville and areas all along here on the Emerald Coast. And when you find the right neighborhood, everything else seems to fall in place. The commute, the community, the comfort, and what turns a move into, well, a fresh start, right? So with that local insight, or without it rather, it's easy to end up in a home that looks really good online, but doesn't have the right match to the lifestyle and exactly what you were looking for. You might end up overpaying, get surprised with hidden fees, especially if there's HOAs, or it might just not be a happy investment for you guys. So let's make that move here to Niceville or Fort Walton, Destin, anywhere around here in this area as easy and as simple and as stress-free as humanly possible, right? So let me help you do that. Give me a call, text, email. Let's talk. We'll get on the phone, Zoom, whatever you would like, and we'll go ahead and see if we can get you in that right place. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and enjoy the rest of Niceville and what it has to offer. And make sure to check out some of these other videos coming up. They should be coming up here, 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 or anywhere around here. Depends on where YouTube decided to put it. This one looks nice. This one? Maybe it's over here. Check them out.